Hi, my name's Rob Scott from UC Today, and in this session, I'll be chatting to our editor-in-chief, David Dungay, about some of the latest and greatest news headlines on UC Today. Hey, David, how's it going?
Hi, Rob. I'm great, thank you. Tell me, how is lockdown life for you?
Mate, it's not that great actually. I've starting to wear all the event swag that we were going to give away at the live events. So I've got this hat on today because my hair is it's not looking so great. But yeah, it's okay. Otherwise, how's things for you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, on the branding, I don't know. Have we overcooked this a little bit? Maybe.
Yes, probably. Yes, yes. Too much swag. Let us know if you're watching this. Let us know if we're just we've overcooked the swag. Good. So we said we'd run through some of the latest headlines, David. Again. So what's top of your list this week?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the last week, we've had a huge story from the distribution market. That is ScanSource Europe. They have, it appears there's some rumblings going on over there. There could be a sale in the offing. To set the scene on this story, though, let's rewind the clock a little bit and go back to 2019. CEO Mike Bauer of parent group ScanSource did say, they're readjusting their global strategy, and part of that was to separate and divest the European hardware business. Now, 2020, we know it wasn't too kind to ScanSource. We saw some redundancies in the middle of the year, and then November in 2020 saw ScanSource sell off the European business to a private equity company, Ten Oaks. Sorry. Now, that was interesting for a number of reasons. We thought, this is the start of a new birth for the business. Ten Oaks don't actually currently have a distribution business within their portfolio, so it looked to be a sort of standalone unit. Now, may have raised a few eyebrows in the community. So at the moment, the story stands today. It looks as if the valuable parts of that business are going to be sold on to various other members of the distribution community. We know there's some CVs flying around the market right now. So, but there's some very valuable skills within that business. Now, there's a few businesses we believe to be in the running for that. There's no deal that has emerged as yet, but we're expecting to hear any day now that the European arm of ScanSource has gone to the distribution community. So a little bit of sad news, but also looks like there could be some more positive news coming for people in that business.
Yeah, absolutely. Another sad day in comms. It's always it's a shame to see brands and big businesses or small businesses even exit the marketplace. But yes, as you say, I'm sure more will emerge very soon. Okay, so second up, we said we'd talk about Zoom, didn't we? And Zoom's met a pretty big landmark recently.
Yeah, absolutely huge landmark, right? So Zoom has reached 1 million Zoom phone users, which is incredible when you think about it. The service launched in January 2019, so sort of 2 years down the line, they've hit the million mark. Now, clearly, Zoom have got a large pool of people to go to. We know this. They were reporting in the middle of last year 300 million daily meeting participants. So that's not daily active users, slightly different, but still, it's a lot of people, right? So this has been named the fastest growing product within the Zoom family, which is, we know the growth over there. It's just incredible. So what I think the interesting part of this conversation is the rate at Zoom developed this product. How are they going to develop this product? We know Microsoft Teams have gone down a bit more of a partner route to really bring that rich telephony experience to customers. So how Zoom approaches that, they're adding new features like blocking spam callers and things of that nature. I think it's going to be great to see how this particular product develops with those rich telephony features in 2021. I can't wait to see what happens here. Rob, I know you're quite close to Zoom. What are your thoughts on this story, on this landmark?
Yeah, well, it's absolutely amazing. First of all, what an achievement! I mean, they also landed on the the Magic Quadrant, if you remember, for UCAS in less than 2 years. So we knew, Zoom Phone was being, a success at Zoom. But I was speaking to Carrie Dick recently, and talking around those 400 features and really the impact of Zoom Phone on the marketplace and on the customer base, and it's just huge. And it really stands testament to, I suppose, voice, really, doesn't it? It kind of, video is the new voice, but voice is still around, and voice is still very, very important to the communications experience. And I think Zoom recognised that. And we can't all just have scheduled meetings. We do still, operate, with kind of dynamic calling, I suppose, voice calls, just the phone ringing. So it's interesting. Lots to come from Zoom. I was speaking to Carrie, and she was saying, look, they're trying to further differentiate Zoom Phone with some pretty neat features. So, as you say, lots to come in 2021 from Zoom, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so what have we got next, Rob? So Microsoft Teams. There's a great story that's emerged recently. A huge statement from CEO Satya Nadella over there. The statement was Teams could be as significant as the internet, right? I thought that statement was a very interesting one. What does that mean exactly? He's really elevating Teams to the sort of level of a operating system or a web browser, for example, and he believes Teams is going to become that sort of hub where the window, if you like, into all of those other Microsoft services. Now, what do we know about Microsoft and their portfolio? Well, they cover pretty much the whole gambit of business, right? There's not really an element of the business world that they don't have products in. So will Teams become this central focal point for businesses going forwards? We use Teams as a business. It's I'd say it's probably the heart of our business in a lot of ways. This is significant. There's a few eyebrows being raised in the market. Slack, for one, they're normally quite quick to bite back at this type of news. The anti-competitive behaviour has been sort of highlighted, if you like, but Satya quite quickly put Slack back in their place and said, you need to turn that mirror on yourselves, guys, and look what you're doing. So there's a bit of a ruckus going on in the market, but I'll be interested to see how this plays out. This also is alongside our predictions piece for Microsoft, which we released recently. Rob, you spearheaded that with Tom Arbuthnot. Microsoft is going to develop like Zoom 2021. These two products, they're going to go after it. I'd be interested in your thoughts on that one. What were the top predictions for 2021 from that conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Microsoft Teams community is bustling, and I'm sure it'll do even more this year. There's so much happening in the Teams space, and I recently, went out to a number of members of the community that I know and asked them for their predictions around Microsoft Teams. So if you watch that series with Tom Arbuthnot recently, it is on YouTube or on our UCTV channel. Do have a look at it, but there's a whole bunch of predictions from top people in the industry. But some of my favorites, I mean, certainly Matt Landis from Landis Technologies, he said there was going to be an uptick in ISVs, so independent software vendors, which I completely agree with, that Microsoft Teams is all these vendors around the outside in that ecosystem now, kind of developing software applications, because all the APIs are pretty much open now on Microsoft Teams. So I think that's a great prediction, and we're going to see more in that space. Blair Pleasant and Patrick Watson, they're two analysts in the industry. They both predicted that Microsoft should or will acquire a contact center vendor, like a Genesys or Five9, that kind of business, that have contact center software. So I think that is a missing piece of the jigsaw too. I completely agree with them. But that prediction in particular came up twice. And last one that I quite liked was Graham Walsh over at Crestron. He said, look, you're going to see more in the automated meeting space. So, with all this pandemic stuff, we've got to make our environment's COVID safe ultimately. So I know Crestron are doing quite a bit in that space, but absolutely, I think voice controlled meeting experiences and that kind of thing we're certainly going to see more of. So those are my favourites, but there were lots more. Definitely worth a watch. David, thanks for your prediction as well, because I completely agree with you on yours. We're going to certainly see more channel activity in the Microsoft Teams ecosystem.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're on to our last story of the day. Another juggernaut in the communication space. Facebook, they've been quite clear with their objectives for 2021. Of course, we're talking about Facebook Workplace here. And I find Facebook fascinating. We reported on a story end of last year. BT rolled out Facebook to a large number of their employees alongside Microsoft Teams. Now, Facebook is what they're doing is great. They're really filling in the gaps that other vendors don't seem to be getting to, and that is because of their rich social roots, if you like, in social media. So their three sort of outline objectives for 2021: increasing who can take part in company-wide dialogue, increasing productivity from within the app, and then leveraging asynchronous communication. Now, I spoke to a CEO actually recently this week of a large service provider here in the UK, and he was saying he's really missing that collaboration, those 30-second pieces of collaboration that you get when you're in the kitchen at work making a cup of tea, or getting a glass of water, or at lunchtime when you've got a sandwich hanging out of your mouth and someone asks you a question. And those pieces of collaboration that I think a lot of the big tools are missing, and Facebook is sort of filling in those gaps. I think the asynchronous communication one is a big one. It's what does that mean exactly? Well, it's communication that isn't instant, if you like. I think a lot of people are beginning to realize being on video constantly, being plugged into your technology constantly can be exhausting. It can be, we're hearing video fatigue, that phrase being mentioned a lot in our market. So Facebook's doing quite a lot of good stuff around that to ensure, that people have the opportunity to look after their well-being. And, if someone sends you a message, not everything needs to be, replied to within seconds. And I think that's important to get our heads around. Rob, what did you think on that one?
Yeah, it's a kind of follow up to a couple of recent conversations we had, isn't it, around kind of being social at work. I do miss the office gossip. Sometimes when you used to kind of boil the kettle and make a brew for someone. Serendipitous kind of conversations around the office and that type of thing. That is definitely something that is kind of often missing from this kind of virtual work experience. I completely get that, and I like the way that Facebook is addressing that and really taking those things seriously. Certainly from a well-being perspective, all those little things add up and just help us, feel like we're included, feel like we're part of a community a little bit more. So. I really like what they're doing, particularly as well around safety. They're big on safety at workplace, more than any other collaboration platform that I've seen. They've now got their whole kind of safety center built into workplace as well. So I think that's really cool. And did you see recently they're doing kind of more around, they're taking the kind of Facebook Live thing and brought that into workplace, like live video through workplace, which I think again is another way of kind of bringing everyone together, no matter where they are, in a more of a kind of live stream. So I think that's maybe the next big step. That's a fascinating feature. Actually, I really, really like that one. And for anyone who doesn't know what that feature is or how it's being used in a business sense, Facebook Live, we're seeing CEOs, in big businesses use this to broadcast their messages company-wide, which is what a great use of a social tool and social media and being applied to the business world. I think that's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it rolls out, though. in terms of people being live and having microphones on all the time and things, and cameras on all the time? Is that,
I'm sure it won't be perfect to begin with, but these things are being developed and tweaked. As users, we're learning how to use these tools, all the time. So I think we'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. So just to round things up, we said we'd talk about a couple of events that are happening very soon or now. So David, UC Summit 2021 is now on.
It is. So we are in week 1 of UC Summit. That is UC Week. UCSummit.com. If you don't know where to go, we've got a lot going on this week. A lot of key features, a lot of key people in the market will be delivering information around the UC market. We've got some really big brands as well exhibiting in the space. I'd encourage you, please come along. Check us out. It's free to attend, and it's such a rich experience of unified communications, knowledge and experience there. It's come along. Rob, you're going to talk us through an upcoming event with an exciting partnership we've got with CommsVerse.
Yes, absolutely. So we've mentioned this before, but we'll mention it again today. We've partnered up with CommsVerse, the Microsoft Teams kind of community event business or organization, and this year we've got 4 micro events that we're running in partnership with them. So we're kind of like the major media partner, and we're helping them kind of put the event on. We're hosting it on our UC Summit virtual event platform as well. But the first event is just around the corner on the 10th of February. We've got 6 fantastic sessions lined up from a whole bunch of experts from the Microsoft Teams space. So if you're on that Microsoft Teams journey, you're looking to kind of extend your knowledge, or develop a strategy with Microsoft Teams, come along, have a look at it. It's completely free to access. You just need to sign up on the website, and off you go. But don't miss it, because the sessions aren't going to be available for that long. So do block some time out in your calendar to attend those sessions. So it does start at 12 o'clock p.m. So then you can maybe block out the afternoon for the sessions. But as David said, jump on ucsummit.com. You can find the registration page and more information about the event there. Hey, David, it's been super speaking to you today. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks, Rob.
And that's it from us. If you've enjoyed today's session, please subscribe to UC Today News and give this video a quick share on social. It's always appreciated. And if you're a UC fan and want to be part of the conversation, you can join us using the hashtag UC News on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Our social links are in the description. I'm Rob Scott, and this is David Dungay. Thanks for joining us.